Perfect. And here are the leaders. You can see there's Liza in 4.4233. And it looks like Marguerite was indeed able to hold her lead after that start. And I apologize for the inconvenience, and those of you who are still with us. We are on the downwind leg of race 10 at Niantic Bay Yacht Club of 2019 Women's North Americans. Marguerite Kohler currently leading by the regatta by 1 point and currently leading this race. This could be a big win for her to help secure a win in the regatta. 81406, that's Beth. Beth from Davis Island Yacht Club, currently in second place. She's having a really good race. Beth Owens. Her best race in the regatta so far is a seventh, so being second place, she must be really happy. You can see Lindsay off to the right side of the fleet trying to get around these other boats. She wasn't in great position at the windward mark, but was able to stay wide, get some clear air, and now she has to work her way back to the main part of the course. Chasing down Gail and Marguerite. Lindsay needs to make some moves if she wants to break into the top three. You can see Nancy Jaywork tacked back or jived back across now on starboard, and there's Marguerite, our leader, well out in front now. It seems like the leaders have been today at least have been able to jump out in front. One person seems to be taking the reins every race, whether it was Lindsay, Gail the first race, Lindsay the second race, and now Marguerite the third race. You see a little bit of a big pack heading down toward the lure gate. We'll see. Probably some of them will have to choose the other side of the gate. It looks like they took out the gate, so all of the sailors are sailing around the one mark. So there's not really a choice of where to go on the course. All the sailors have to go to that one gate, that one leeward mark, and so inside is really important. Lindsay inside of a lot of those boats. Gail Hauser inside a lot of those boats. We'll see who has overlap at that mark. It looks like it could be a little bit of a crazy rounding. This rounding is very important because you don't want to be underneath those other boats after the rounding. Looks like Gail getting around right now. A wide and tight rounding. Actually, that's Liza. I thought it was Gail. Gail outside Liza. Lindsay sneaking in inside. That was a fantastic rounding by Lindsay. Right on top of Gail. Gail getting all that bad air from Lindsay and Liza. And Gail's going to have to make some moves if she wants to catch Marguerite. Gail tacking over onto starboard. Faye Flam having to duck Gail. And 4830, that's Nancy Jaywork, has to tack over because Gail's on starboard again. And Gail doing the only move she really could from beneath Lindsay and Liza, tacking over, trying to get some clear air to gain some ground and pass Liza, Lindsay, and catch up to Marguerite. It's really important for Gail that she comes in second in this race behind Marguerite because if she's outside the top two, then she is way then she it will be difficult for her to catch Marguerite in race 11. Lindsay taking that inside was able to go from eighth place down to second around that leeward mark. So we're getting word from the race committee that there was an issue with one of those the lured marks, which is why they went down to just one mark. Looks like one of the marks was floating or something, and they had to go in to repair it. So all the sailors adjusted, figured out the mark, and had a good rounding. Here are some of our leaders. This looks like let's see. That looks like it's Gail Hausler, 60858, followed by Nancy Jaywork. 60858. Gail Hausler tacked over below at the mark after the rounding below Lindsay and went off to get clear air on the other side. So we'll see when she tacks back onto port if she's able to to cross Lindsay, and if going off to that viewer's right side is going to pay off for her. And you can see over these waves, you can see her bow going up and down over the waves. She's not burying the bow in the waves. She's releasing the sail at the waves and sheeting in at the crest so that she's able to power the boat through the waves. And it helps that she keeps the boat nice and flat through the waves, helps the boat penetrate through without losing too much speed. Now you can see a lot of the boats are on starboard tack, and Gale just over on the right side of the screen tacking over onto port. She's the only one in the top half of the fleet that's tacked over onto port, but uh, she's looking to make some gains on that right side, and then pocket those gains by working back to the middle of the fleet, working back across the main part of the fleet. And it looks like Marguerite is getting a big lift on that left side, and is going to maintain her lead way ahead of the rest of the fleet. What'll be key here is if we can see when Gale crosses Lindsay on the left side in that yellow and blue sail, whether Gale made out on that viewer's right side or whether Lindsay will maintain the lead that she had over Gale. That's where we'll really see if that right side for Gale paid off. And Lindsay tacking off, that's a little bit of a surprise. I would have thought she'd stay with the rest of the fleet, but Lindsay tacking off to the right side, maybe thinking that she was getting a little bit of a header. Marguerite as well, tacking over. Smart move by Marguerite. She's staying on top of Gale and the rest of the leaders being Lindsay and Gail Hausler, and she's staying off to that viewer's left side of the course, making sure that those two leaders who are threatening her positions today so far are behind her, getting the same exact wind, same exact current as her. So it's really hard for those back sailors to gain ground. Lindsay and Gale, it's really hard for them two to gain ground on Marguerite if they're in the same part of the course, same kind of wind conditions, same kind of current as Marguerite. So Marguerite, very smart fleet management, able to stay ahead of the two of them, watch the rest of the fleet, and sail fast on her side. It looks like a lot of the fleet tacked over onto port. So I'm wondering if there was a little bit of a shift to that side or if they're following some of the leaders, Gale, Lindsay, and Marguerite. So you can see Marguerite coming up to the windward mark. That's the offset in the bottom right-hand side of the screen and the windward mark in the lower left-hand side of the screen. Marguerite is going to be tacking over. She tacked over onto port. Now she's heading up to that starboard ley line to round the mark. She has to round it from our left to our right. You can see Lindsay, she had a good mark rounding at the leeward mark, but it looks like Gail was able to catch her on that right side of the course when she worked back, pocketed the gains that she gained on the right hand side of the course, and now is able to be ahead of Lindsay, who worked that left side of the course. But Lindsay's heading up a little bit closer to the mark. We'll see exactly how far ahead Gail is of Lindsay at this mark. And you notice Lindsay coming up high on Gale. She's blocking Gale's wind. She learned last time on that reach leg that you have to stay high on above Gale in order to block the wind on the reach. And if you don't do that, then you have almost no chance of catching someone unless you catch some lucky wave or someone else or the other person makes a mistake. Lindsay's staying high. She's working those waves, trying to catch up to Gale and Marguerite. At this point, Marguerite is too far ahead. She's likely is not going to be caught. So Lindsay just wants to get Gale, move into second place. Gale, 1 point behind Marguerite, wants to stay within striking distance of Marguerite in race 11. And that's Liza right behind Gail and Lindsay in fourth place. Liza also wants to catch up, but she had a costly OCS in race 8. She was caught on the wrong side of the start line, didn't go back and clear herself. So we'll have to see how that plays out going forward. That right now, that's her throw out. Liza's looking forward to race 11. She'd be throwing out a 12 with that second throw out, so that's really good. That's a little bit of a high throw out for these leaders, so she'll gain a little bit of ground when they get race 11 in. And you can see Lindsay, it looks like, has almost caught Gale. And Lindsay getting a little bit of help from Liza behind Gale because Liza is heading up. She's taking a little bit of Gale's win, not Lindsay's, and Lindsay's a little bit further outside and able to gain some ground. Let's see if Gale can throw in a similar move to she did last race on Lindsay at this jibe mark. Last race, Gale was able to round the jibe mark, head upwind a little bit to make sure that she got clear air over Lindsay, and Lindsay had to duck below Gale, and Gale pocketed that win right to the finish line. So we'll see if Gale's going to try that same move, and we'll see if Lindsay's able to counter it this time. So here the sailors are coming into that jibe mark. You see Marguerite. You see their sail is not quite all the way up on her spar. That's because she reefed her sail with this big breeze. She jibes around this mark. With the reef sail, it reduces the sail area. It makes it a little bit easier for the sailors to keep their boat flat, to hike out, and without using as much energy. And Lindsay now trying to make a move on Gale. She tries to get inside. She's not going to get overlap, so she's going to have to round after Gale. You see her trying to negotiate around behind Gale, 60858, and Gale holding her off. Going to have a round here, good rounding. It looks like she's going to head. Watch, she heads a little bit upwind to stay clear of Lindsay, and then she heads down. And Lindsay, a little bit better rounding than last time, but she's going to be right behind Gale. She's too low to be able to steal Gale's air, and Gale's going to take right off and head toward the finish. So you're seeing now, this is likely the finish order of this race with Marguerite in first. You see Gail to the right of the screen, followed by Lindsay Stockwell, followed by Liza Genovese. Gail Hausler in this win is tough to beat. She's been sailing. She has a 1-2-1 and now another 2. So she is pretty tough to beat in these kind of conditions, and she's showing that here, holding off Lindsay and Liza around that mark. You can see there's Marta Klus in 4830. She's having a good race in top 10. You can see Bernadette in the dark yellow and blue sail, followed by, it looks like Kimmy Jackman in the red, white, and blue. That's actually Sonia Dean, 4820. Sonia, one of the lighter skippers in today's regatta, having trouble with the heavy breeze. You can see she's full on hiking here. And like we said before, this last leg, it's difficult to pass people. You really have to get up on a wave, use your sail, pump your sail at the top of the wave, get on a wave, use that Sunfish hull as a surfboard to surf down the wave and gain a lot of speed. And here's the finishes. You see Marguerite already finished. This is going to be Gail Hausler crossing the finish line, and she should be closely followed by Lindsay. There it is again. Gail getting the best of Lindsay again. So they're your top three: Gail Hassler in second, Marguerite in first, and Lindsay in third, crossing the finish line now. You see these in the upper left. You see Bernadette, Sonia Dean, and those other sailors up there approaching the finish line. That's okay. You want to get Lee Parks in to do some commentary. That's Faye Flam just finishing there in the yellow and blue sail. Here it is, Bernadette coming first out of that bunch in that dark yellow and blue sail. Here it's I can't, and this Bernadette approaching the finish line. So with 4 races in the books today, these sailors have to be getting tired. It's toward the end of the day. They've already been out there for about 2.5 hours, and about almost 3 hours now, and their legs are getting tired from hiking out. Their arms are getting tired from sheeting in, and so it's going to be a little bit of a stamina test and see who fatigues last. These last couple races, it's going to make a big difference if you can maintain focus, continue to hike out, and continue to work your sail upwind and downwind in these long beats. So once again, we're here in Connecticut at the 2019 Women's North American Championships, and looking at this drone view, you can see that's the venue where we are. Yesterday, we were out on that breakwater doing the drone coverage from there, but today with the higher winds, to make sure that you guys could hear it, we're actually in the Yacht Club building right there, looking out over the water. We're in that, you see that tent? We're just to the right of that tent in that building on the deck. You can see all the breakwater blocking the wind, and the sailing course is right off of the breakwater. This is Niantic Bay. You see the shoreline on the far side. You see Millstone Power Plant, and you see we're racing right in the bay. On the other side, you'll see Black Rock, and right out straight ahead, you see Long Island Sound. You can really see how the waves and the wind are kind of sheltered in this bay a little bit. You see the darker water out further. We have a little bit of a southwest breeze, and that's why you're seeing it sheltered on shore a little bit. Because as you go further out, the wind has a chance to build and can really pick up going out toward the course. Heading into race 11, we have to thank our sponsors, Lift and Sea, putting on this stream. So thank you, Lift and Sea, for doing the drone coverage, the video coverage. Thank you to Laser Performance, providing some prizes for the winners, and APS as well, and Counterweight Brewery right here in Hamden, Connecticut.
That beer was delicious last night.
And please feel free to comment, share. We'll try to answer your comments as best we can as we're here viewing. And feel free to have conversations in the comment section. And, we welcome any interaction.
How you doing, Kathleen? Yeah. I saw you set up this morning. I heard some excitement in your voice, and you're ready to get out there. It sounds like. Yeah. Tell me a little about yourself.
Well, I started sailing years ago, windsurfing on Lake Michigan.
Oh wow.
And since spent time sailing with Florida.
Oh, yeah. I heard the group that came up from Florida.
There you go. There's one. Hi, I'm Shannon. Your daughter's speaking racing. Are you going to be out there?
It's still,
11?
I don't know, I lost count.
All right, 11.
Good. You're all set. How do you like?
Looks good.
Okay. Oh, nice. Ready?
Woo! Hello, how are you? You ladies having fun?
We're from Sarasota, Florida.
Oh, awesome.
We're the Laughing Lassies.
So here we are. We're in sequence on the second or on the 11th race, and it looks like the P flag is now up. So we're inside 4 minutes. And once again, going into this race, we have Marguerite leading the regatta by only 2 points, and Gail Hausler close behind. There you see Lindsay Stockwell 4704. Right in front of the committee boat. Wants to make sure she gets the course right. Knows which one they're doing. Looks like they've been doing the windward leeward triangles all day with a reach mark. The heavy breeze, they probably want to throw in a triangle at the end and make sure the sailors get a little bit of a break. So there you see Marguerite in 71 just exiting to the left of the frame. And 81406, that's Beth Owens. Beth had a good last race. She was up there in the top 10 for a while. I'm not sure where she finished, but she was up there. And we have updated results after race 10. Marguerite up by 2 on Gail Hausler in second, and a solid lead for Gail Hausler over third place by 10 points. But Nancy Jaywork in third place is only up by 2 over Lindsay Stockwell in fourth. So we have a solid battle for first place and for third place in this regatta right now. P flag is down, so we have 1 minute to the start. So we're coming up on about 30 seconds to the start. You can see they're starting to line up at the boat. A lot of sailors on that right side or on that viewer left side of the line.
Bought it.
And here we go. This is 10 seconds to the start. You see, watch that committee flag on the race committee boat.
This is
That pink Sunfish flag. As soon as that comes down, you can see they'll take off.
this is an important start in this regatta right here.
Right now, that's go. All clear. You see 88034 on the pin side. It's trouble accelerating because she didn't leave herself a lot of room. But you can see 4355, that's Sarah Woodward on that pin side, getting out to a good start. You see Lindsay Stockwell in the middle, the yellow and blue, 4704. Out in front in the middle, had a good acceleration off the line. You see 43444, that's 43433, that's Liza right to the right side of the screen now. She's out in front of those other boats. Those other boats are getting Liza's bad air. They're sailing behind her. And it looks like Lindsay, Liza, and on the far side, that could be,
I can't see.
it's hard to tell, possibly Gail Hausler. It could be. I mean, she's been having good starts all day. But whoever that is tacked off to the right side of the course. They're trying to work that other side, get away from the fleet. You see in the screen going left side, you have Sarah Woodward in the red, white, and blue sail, 4355. You have 83034. That's one of that's the only one we don't know.
Beth is holding her own there too, in 406.
Why don't you guys find out who 83034 is?
The list is right there.
There you see Sarah Woodward working through the waves, losing a little bit of ground on the leaders, which is only natural based on where her position is. But she's sailing well. She had a good start off the line. And going out to the left side, she's still getting clear air, which is really important in this kind of breeze to be able to break through the waves. You need clear air. You got to keep that boat flat. You have to work the sail through the waves. And right now, she's looking pretty good up and over the waves, not diving that nose in, and maintaining some speed.
Who are we looking for?
83034. If it's a thing.
Hey, should we be following anyone in particular?
I'm
gonna get back to the middle.
Yeah, go back to the middle, get them crossing. And you can see here, Lindsay on starboard, going to have a conflict point with that one person that they have to tack. And you can see Lindsay forced them to tack because she's on starboard.
Will, was that the sail switch that you made today?
No. That was Sarah Woodward. That was the sail switch.
Don't see that sail.
Okay. Alright, so we'll have to figure that out later. 89034, Emily Black, probably. That was a sail switch.
How close is the leader then?
So I'm getting word from our drone operator that he saw Gail Hausler getting buried on that start, and that's really hard for Gail because she's only 2 points back from Marguerite, and a bad finish in this race would surely put her out of contention for the win in the regatta. There you see Lindsay Stockwell hiking out hard, keeping that boat flat. She had a good start off the line, and she's followed to windward and behind by Liza Genovese. Liza, one of the top competitors so far in 5th place. Lindsay maintaining 4th place, but she has a little bit of a lead over Liza thus far in the regatta. She's about 13 points ahead of Liza, so Lindsay just needs to finish well and she can solidify 4th place, but I know she's shooting higher. She's shooting for Nancy Jaywork in 3rd place. Nancy only 2 points ahead of her. And that looks like Gail. So if she did get buried on the start, she made a really good comeback, and she looks like she's leading this regatta right now on the right side of the course. That may indeed have been her on that far side of the line by the boat, and we saw that one boat come off the line. She went to port tack, got a nice lift up that right side, and then is able to come back and do really well. So Gail Hausler with the lead right now, and that's really important, as we were saying before, because she's only up by down by 2 points on Marguerite. So the next thing we have to look for is, where is Marguerite?
Yeah,
is Marguerite going to maintain points behind her, because Gail will have the tiebreaker over Marguerite.
considering that throwout too.
Yeah, Gail has a good throwout. She's a high throwout. She's a 9. And Gail, after this race, the results are going to shuffle because Gail has a high throwout. She has a 9th place throwout, and Marguerite only has a 5th. So it might be the case that Gail, regardless of this finish, could move up. If she's in the top 3, she could move up regardless. We'll have to see how these results shake out. Gail tacking over onto port. It looks like she's having a little bit of an issue. She didn't get the sail in right away. She was sitting there dead in the water, and only now is she able to accelerate again. Maybe she got caught. A lot of these sailors can get caught. Their life jackets get caught on the main sheet as the boom comes over. Maybe she had some issue like that, but it took her a minute to reaccelerate, and that can cost you a little bit, especially in this breeze. If you're sitting there doing nothing, other
You're
people are
almost going.
moving at 5 miles an hour.
You're
So.
almost going backwards because you're on the wrong side of a wave.
Yeah,
or
and you're
whatever.
getting pushed by the wind, or yeah.
Yeah.
But Gail, with that superior sailing skill and just able to get out far enough ahead that I don't think that any other sailors were able to catch her that much. So it may have been a mistake, but it was not a costly mistake. We saw some sailors yesterday make costly mistakes, sail the wrong course, and right now it looks like Gale is pretty far ahead. It might take something like that, but we also saw sailors blow big leads yesterday. We saw
Yeah.
Nancy J work way out in front, and someone came in off the side and got a big puff and was able to catch her. So anything can happen. And really have to watch out for maintaining focus and maintaining, staying in front of the fleet and all that other stuff.
It'll be interesting to see where we see Marguerite cross this line
Yeah.
around this mark.
hmm And right now we're seeing Gale come up to the windward mark in first place with Lindsay in second place. Lindsay and Gale both sailing very well today. Only one person was able to beat either of them today, and that was Marguerite in that one race. And you see them head over to the offset. They're going to go around the offset and then head downwind to the Lure Gate. I believe the race committee was able to get that gate fixed, so they have 2 marks there. They're going to have the option, sail around either mark, and head back upwind to the favored side. And it looks like Marguerite is not in the top 4 right now. You see Lies on the far
On the
side,
inside.
and
There's Nancy.
There's-
Nancy again, and
And that's Shannon.
Shannon,
with a great
yeah.
race right now in 5th place. She's got to be thrilled with that. Coming out just hoping not to get last, and she's currently in 5th place. What a fantastic leg.
Kimmy's doing well too.
Yeah, and that's Kimmy.
That's Marta, right? Yeah.
hmm
Connecticut well represented. There's Marguerite back there.
And Marguerite is going to have a long way to go. This could be Marguerite's second throwout. So
She's
Marguerite
in
having
10th or 12th, 11th.
Marguerite with a 5th place throwout currently. If after this race, instead she's going to be throwing out this race. She's way back in that pack.
Yeah.
Going to have to make a lot of moves in order to make up ground.
Look
You
to
see
her to
them
go
rounding
way
the-
inside. She loves to go way inside.
So Marguerite, as Paul said, is going to go inside. You can see JR driving over to follow Marguerite, and Marguerite going to go inside. She wants to make sure that she gets the inside overlap on all those boats, get some clear air, not have to worry about anyone else on the race course. Try to make up some ground because she's got a lot of ground to make up, and she's not making up that ground by sailing directly the same direction as everyone else. She wants to go inside, get different waves, different current, and get inside overlap of that leeward mark.
Yeah, she can't miss a wave. She's got to hit every one. You'll watch that boat wobble back and forth trying to catch every one.
And you can see her moving the tiller, sheeting in on every wave to try to pump that boat forward. You see every wave she'll get a little bit of a pump and acceleration, and then she'll bear off, and then she'll pump again, try to get on that wave. And this is
pointing that bow down all the time, riding every wave she can.
Matter if judges had drones like this. And there you see Marguerite jibe back. She's going to work her way. She's about halfway down the leeward leg. She's going to work her way back toward the rest of the fleet and see if she can make up some ground. And we'll see if going off to that side paid off for her as she comes back to the rest of the fleet. We'll see if she passed people.
Yeah. Every jibe slows you down, so hopefully that'll be the last one before she gets to the mark.
And there you see the leaders, Gail Hausler and Lindsay Stockwell in 1-2. Lindsay in that yellow and blue sail, and Gail in that white sail out ahead. That's Gail. Gail chooses that far mark, that left side, and it looks like Lindsay's going to go for the right side. Lindsay wanted to make up some ground. It looks like she's going to go the way Gail went on that upwind and try to use some of that same current and wind that Gail got on that last upwind. So that's interesting. The leaders once again splitting the different marks. Lindsay and Gail have been doing that a lot today, sailing their own races and then working back towards each other in the middle. And it looks like the rest of the pack is going to that left side. Ooh, except for Nancy.
Nancy going right.
So we'll see if Nancy and Lindsay make off on that right side versus those other boats that went left. It's always interesting when you have half the fleet going each way because it can be pretty even course. And it
Lindsay
looks like Marguerite
back.
actually did gain a lot of ground. She passed a lot of boats on that downwind, and she's now going to round in like 7th place instead of like 12th.
She's splitting away from Gail went the other gate.
Yeah. And there you see Marguerite going the same way as Lindsay and Nancy. It looks like Lindsay had tacked back toward the fleet and then tacked back out on port again, so going back to that right side.
Todd will be happy to see that. They're going both ways around it.
What did you say,
Pressure coming down the course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Can you see it on the left side? Can you see it on the left, though? And you can see there's a lot of pressure on that right side of the course. I mean, it looks like obviously there's pressure all over the course, but it looks like that right side could be the way to go. And we'll see when Lindsay crosses back if she made the right move and that side of the course pays off.
Right.
What was that, 80558? That was Linda just rounding the mark. And there's 80726. That is Suzanne Hume from Sarasota. Oh, no, sorry, West Hampton Yacht Squadron.
That was crazy rounding. She didn't round at all.
we're working on getting you a view of the windward rounding and the boats as they come upwind. Hopefully we can see some of the leaders as they get to the closer to the upwind mark. We'll see if Lindsay was able to catch up to Gale or which side of the course paid off. And you can see Lindsay there in the middle of that yellow and blue sail, and Thomas way out in front. And I'm willing to bet that's probably Gale Hauser. So obviously Gale having another good upwind. And I'm not sure if Lindsay lost ground on those other boats. They're pretty even right now, but it's hard to tell. We'll have to see when they get back together. That right side maybe didn't pay out for Lindsay, or Gale just had that much boat speed and was able to stay ahead. And Lindsay's Stockwell here in 4704, you see her just tack back onto starboard.
That was a nice tack.
She had a good tack, as Paul said. She was saying before this regatta that when we asked her about the competition, that she said Gale is amazing and always excited to race with her. So Lindsay, who's been competing with Gale all morning, that must be pretty good.
It's gonna feel good, yeah.
Yeah. And you can see the top of her spar, a little bit of a reef for her, so she still has to work hard to keep that boat flat upwind. You see the top of her sail is not quite touching the end of the spar, so it's reefed a tiny bit. She has that downhaul on tight, so that she has a little bit less sail area to work with on these upwinds. And you can see 80361, that's Beth Owens from West Hampton, and Davis Island, sorry.
Yeah.
And Beth managed to gain a lot of ground on Lindsay. I wonder if that left side was good.
I think so.
Or if Lindsay's getting tired and not being able to keep the boat as flat.
And here comes Eliza into the
I
frame.
wonder. And it's going to be close between Eliza and Beth, too. They both ducked Lindsay by a similar amount, so we'll have to see which one is able to get to the mark. You see Lindsay just below, it's going to be tight.
Yeah.
She looks like she's just below lane line right now.
But
She
still
might
a
have to
good tactic,
throw in.
though. She nailed it last time, too, so she'll come
I
down
think
forward.
right now it looks like she might have to
Here.
do a double tack.
Yeah.
So, and there it is. There's the first tack. And double tacking in these boats is slow, especially in this breeze. Every time you tack, you have to regain speed, and that can cost you a little bit. But right now, she's comfortably ahead of those other two boats. So she makes sure she's not doing any mental mistakes. She's getting good distance between herself and the mark, and then they're going. They don't have to go around the offset. They can go right down to that triangle mark. These top leaders know that. They don't have to go around that offset.
Looks like they might have gotten a pretty good puff there because a couple of them had trouble making the mark. Or not making the mark, but she...
You see a couple of these red and white sails, it must be, we have a couple sailors sailing with us today. It could be Nancy Jayward, could be Sonia, could be Marta, could be Kimmy. So we'll see as we get a little closer here. Looks like that's Kimmy in the lead, 4872, followed by Nancy Jayward. So Kimmy heading down to that jibe mark. A lot of these sailors in the back, they don't realize they don't have to go to that offset. So if someone thinks they can cut that corner, they can save a lot of ground.
They're all going to the offset.
Whatever, yeah, go with that group. They're all close, right? Yeah, so you can see these waves really buffeting these sailors on this downwind. You see them rock to leeward, then rock back flat as they're trying to maintain boat speed, maintain a steady boat. You just saw Kimmy rock to the right in 4872, and if they're careful, if they're good, they can use that rock to accelerate them on the waves and get that boat surfing downwind. You see Beth in the middle of the screen, Beth Owens from Davis Island.
No, I go 361.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's actually
Fourth place.
Gretchen. There's Gretchen Seymour from Lake Bluff. My mistake. We've been saying this for a while. That's my fault. I'm sorry. She's out here from Chicago, Lake Bluff Yacht Club. And she said, she's got to be happy with with the finish in fourth place
I
here.
think
She
so.
can
Yeah.
hold off Kimmy and Nancy. 'Cause she did have some good finishes today, but she said she's proudest of the little things that pop in her head around the course, especially like good stars, good mark roundings. We'll see if she can get another good mark rounding on this drive mark and see if she can put together another solid day. It looks like they're going to try to get in one more race and get in the full 12 races.
That'd be great.
Which is, these sailors are going to be tired. So it's going to be a real test of fortitude whether they can hold their own to keep hiking out for one more long race. They're not short races. They've been about half an hour, a little longer. So
You know, as a North American, you know they're going to push you. They want to get as many races in, keep this, as many opportunities for progress as possible. So.
So you see Lindsay at the top of the screen rounding that mark comfortably ahead. She's going to get another second place in this regatta, followed by maybe that's Susan. Susan from Sarasota. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's Liza.
Yeah, we've got Liza in
So there's Liza in third place right now. Good race for
That's
her.
going to help her.
She needs a third. This is a second. And, so there you have Kimmy Rounding. She's going to get in fourth place, followed by
Gretchen and Nancy.
Gretchen Seymour and Nancy Jamer. And there's Marguerite. So Marguerite, not a good finish for her. It's going to be her throwout. She's still going to try and make up a little more ground by trying to pass this person in the red, white, and blue sail. It's going to be tough, but she's obviously going to try. And here you have rounding that mark 4350. That's Melissa Solnick. That's Marta with the jive now. Marta Cluse from Connecticut, UConn alumni. Sailed for the UConn sailing team. That's 4729. That's Faye Flynn from Massapequa.
A little bit of trouble there. Get it in. There you go, Faye.
Yeah, it's tough when you're going around these jive marks. Sometimes you have a lot of line that you have to pull in pretty quickly.
Yeah. Then you've got wave action. It's hard work.
And it's hard to get the sail around too. You saw this sailor, 76039. That's Emily Wagner. She doesn't have a lot of experience. And might have had a little trouble there around that jive mark.
But she's loving the experience. She's loving lessons learned.
Every time they come out to these regattas, you learn a little bit more. And sailing here in Connecticut, it's not always easy, but not always a warm and tropical Tampa Bay that they need to. But,
True.
She's learning a little bit more, getting a little bit more experience. That's good for her.
There's Sonia
and Lynn Randall. Yeah. Sonia and Lynn Randall. And it was 726. That's Suzanne Hume down there from West Hampton Yacht Squadron.
So they'll be.
She said she won was the first female. Uh, she won for the female division in the around Shelter Island race this year, and that was one of the most proud moments she was sailing. So I hope she's pretty proud of her performance here.
Yeah.
And this is the finish line. In the top left, you can see Faith Lamb finishing now, along with Sonia and some of the other sailors.
Yeah, they're gonna have to regroup fast because I'm sure if they want to get another one in, they're gonna have to move quickly.
Yeah. So this is the course that they've been sailing today. They're sailing a windward leeward course, and the second upwind they sail to Mark 3 and round a jibe mark before the finish. Uh, what if you look at the directions in the upper right, you can see that after they round Mark 1 for the second upwind, they only go to Mark 3. They don't have to go around Mark 1A.
Right.
So
that's confusing some of the sailors for sure.
And that's confusing some of the sailors that don't realize you don't have to go around the offset on the second upwind. So, um, but if you don't go to the offset, you can cut a lot of distance off, and it can save you some
Yeah.
time.
Oh yeah. And it lets you go inside. If other people are going around that offset mark, you've got the inside line. All right, as we get ready for this next race. As we get ready for this next race, a lot of these sailors might be thinking, one more. No, it's been a long day. But this is a time to buck it up and test every ounce of physical strength you got and use it all, leave it on the race course.
Last race of a long regatta, 12 races, and 6 this morning, and they've been moving quickly. They haven't had much rest out there or anything like that, so
They're hungry, thirsty,
tired, all
yeah,
that. So
cold.
yeah, you see 81022, that's Lynn Randall. Lynn Randall joined Sunfish class a few years ago and has really enjoyed it, got back into sailing. I think she told us a funny story when I was down in Texas, Austin Yacht Club last year for women's, and she told us a funny story. She said when she was in high school, they had a gym class and they did some sailing in gym class, and she just remembers crying during gym
Oh
class,
wow!
and she had to drop the class,
Oh,
and it
and
was in
here she is.
college, and she had to drop the class, and here she is, however many years later,
Loving it.
and pick
Yeah.
back up the boat and loving the Sunfish. So, good for her. She's back out here again and continuing to have a good time in the Sunfish boat. And here you can see we have the P flag, so we're within 4 minutes of the start. Hey, Aunt Lee. Aunt Lee. Go somewhere else with that. I'm sorry. Oh my God, there's so much.
Damn it.
All right, so you can see we're about 3 minutes to the start right now. Um, and so these sailors at last race, they're real, as we said before, they're tired, they're hungry, they're ready to go in, and so they just have to focus, think about, especially these top sailors, think about what they want to do on this upwind, what the better side is, what
Get
their approach is going to be,
and get the good start.
and leave it all out on the race
Yeah.
course. There's no point in saving energy for the next race because there isn't one.
Right.
So, and they know this is the last race because there's only 12 races in the SIs. So,
Have a good start, but don't be over early. That could
yeah,
be a crusher.
it could ruin your regatta if you're over early in the last race. And that's P flag is still.
Is it still there? It's still there. We're straight on with it.
What's that? Just tell me.
145.
Can't see. There's too many things. What? 10 miles an hour. 10 to 14. Okay, thank you. And we're within a couple minutes of the start here. You can see the P flag dropped. We have the race committee flag up, and that's
I think the
within
P
1 minute of the start. Or is that the P
I
flag?
think the P flag's still
P
there.
flag is
I
still
think we
up,
got
so
about
we're
20. I think we got about 20 seconds before the P
all
flag
right. So
comes
we're
down.
about a minute and 20 to the start, and so these sailors are starting to set up. You can see they're looking for where they want to be on the line, and they're planning their start. Do they want to win the boat? Do they want to be in the middle of the line? Do they want to go off to the port side of the course? You see 71 Marguerite coming in on port. Looks like she's going to maybe fill in below those other boats, try to get some clear air on the left side of the course. We'll see if she tacks back or tries to find a hole somewhere else along the line. What do we got?
We should be about 45 seconds away from the start now. 40 seconds. P flag's down.
You can see the sailors have a lot of space on this line, so you can be aggressive. You can get up to the line. You don't have to worry as much about people pushing you over. It looks like the
We got a
current may
little
be
bit of a
pulling them
sag here,
back.
but
Yeah, the current might be affecting them on the start. They're pushing them back away from the line, so you can really be aggressive, work up to the line. We're up to 10 seconds to the start. Look for that P flag dropping. You can look in the upper left on that picture-in-picture. You can see the P flag drop.
and the Sunfish
And there
flag.
it
Not
goes, and that's the start. And they're all clear
there.
by
It is.
quite a little,
There it is.
and they're all clear by quite a margin.
Yeah,
And you
that
see
was a conservative line
4830
for sure.
Nancy on this close
Yeah.
side. You can see they're slow off the line. Maybe they're the current. They're fighting some current there. Um,
What are we seeing for wind lately?
I heard it was around 10 to 15 out there. A
Right
little
now?
bit gusts, maybe slightly higher. Um, the wind has come down a little bit since this morning, so they might have a little bit easier time, but it's
Right.
still going to be a lot
Well,
of
it's still
work.
a lot of wave work. You look at some of those waves, and that's a lot of water to climb.
Yeah, you can really see Nancy right on the lower part of the screen go up and down in the boat. And 81406, that's Beth Owens from Davis Island. She really, you can see her boat going up and down over these waves. You got the picture-in-picture. There's nothing really going on in that. You can see Nancy struggling. She had a clear start, bottom screen 8-4, 8-3-0. She had a clean start, but now Beth Owens is actually catching up to her. She's on top of her, almost stealing her win. A little bit longer, and
Right.
she'll be completely covered, passing her to windward.
And Nancy will be stuck. She won't be able to tack. She'll have to drop her to get back to get to the other side.
Yeah, she'll have to steer foot a little bit and then tack before she, can get clear.
Right. But behind for sure.
Yeah. Can we get the other side of the fleet? So we can see who just panned to the left. You can see Lindsay, top left of the screen there in that blue and yellow. There's a red and white sail there. You have some people fighting here for position.
So the fleet is definitely split. Half your leaders are on both sides for sure.
It looks like that's Marguerite. I think.
Yeah. Leading that right-hand team.
Yes, found a nice hole on the line and went to the right side. Or our left, viewer left. Yeah, that's Marguerite with that yellow hat, orange hat. And that's 60726. No?
807. Yeah, Susan Hume.
Susan. Yeah. She's doing well, right behind Marguerite, off on the side, and behind her is JR in 4304. June Rice Fletcher. Yeah, you see Lindsay toward the middle of that screen, that blue and yellow sail. She's trying to work into third place, see if she can pass Nancy Jaywork on this race. Nancy was in that bad position we saw before, getting covered by
we'll see how that happens when she comes
Beth.
back in.
So here's Marguerite crossing Lindsay. And you can really see some of these waves. You see how Lindsay gets pushed on these waves. And her nose dives in a little bit. She just barely crossed 80726 on port. She didn't have rights there,
Yeah,
so
no.
that was a little close, but she made it. And Marguerite, same thing. She's crossing her on port. She's just a little bit ahead. And if she's that close,
this will be interesting here.
Some conflict. 4-8 and right on top of Lindsay. 4-8-7-2-6. That's Kimmy. Jackman. All these boats bunching up. This is really exciting. And Lindsay, she's coming out. Actually, she's getting clear air all of a sudden. Marguerite, a slow tack. Kimmy wasn't able to keep speed. Looks like Lindsay could have a little bit ahead. If she works that boat, Marguerite's really got to keep that boat flat right now to try to get back ahead of Lindsay. But it looks like Marguerite's actually riding a little bit of a heel, and which is going to slow her down a little bit. And Lindsay's able to poke her nose back out with that boat speed that she's had.
Yeah, that was a good move.
And Lindsay passing Marguerite to leeward, that's a really big move, especially if they're coming up to the windward mark here. Oh, they got a long way to the windward mark. So there's a lot of jostling that could be happening. Lindsay could just ride this out and see if she can wind up lee-bowing Marguerite into her stern. And Marguerite, smart move from Marguerite. Don't mess with Lindsay. Tack off. Get some clear air. Lindsay's had that.
No.
Lindsay wants to stay with Marguerite then and go to that side. And who's that way out in front of them? That looks like Liza.
We've got a couple boats out here in front.
That looks like Liza looking at her boat. It's hard to tell, but we'll see in a minute as we pan over. As the wind comes down, I think this is allowing.
Right there?
That is Liza. That's Liza, and then Liza on the right part of the screen, and then 80858. That's Gail. Linda. Sorry, that's Linda. Linda from Sarasota. She's having a good race up there.
Yeah.
Linda Schwartz. She's riding a boat named Max Wind. And you can see, as the wind dropped down, we can see some of these other competitors starting to catch up to these leaders that really excelled in that heavy breeze.
Yeah.
And it's making for an interesting race. You have Lindsay tangled up with some other sailors, some Kimmy, and we saw Linda Schwartz up there. We see some of these other competitors really giving it a shot.
Yeah.
Especially now that toward the end, everyone's been hiking all day. It's really good to see.
Trying to figure out who's coming in. Oh, that's
Emily Black.
Yeah.
And we've heard that Emily Black has just retired. It's been a long day for her, but
Yeah.
kudos to her. She finished every race except for this last race.
That's
so
not bad for
uh,
what the equipment she's using.
Yeah. She was in the recreational sale yesterday, and
yeah.
she swapped it out for a racing sale today. So we'll have to ask her how that worked for her.
She's using a wooden dagger board today, and
Really?
Yeah,
A wooden
yeah.
dagger board. Well, today it wouldn't hurt you that much. You know, you
Right.
keep the boat flatter. It's a little shorter.
Mhm.
You get like 8 inches less in the water, so it's a little bit easier to keep that boat flat.
Coming up to the mark here.
You're coming up to the mark. Lindsay passing Marguerite on
Ooh.
court. That looked like it was.
Oh,
If Marguerite, it looked like she was able to sneak by, but Marguerite might have had to bear off. If Marguerite maybe let her by, just because.
Oh.
No, Lindsay, crucial mistake. Lindsay's getting protested by Marguerite. That's gonna hurt her.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough. So there she goes. She did one circle, and here she goes for a second circle. That's gonna be tough.
No second circle.
Oh, sorry.
On this.
I'm sorry. With the new rule change.
Oh, but she's gonna do.
No.
She's gonna do two. Oh no, she's
doing it.
Yeah, she's gonna do
Yeah.
it.
So with the new rule change, we have to make sure everyone's updated. Your second circle is not required outside the 3 boat lengths. Yeah, I think that's a new rule that was put into effect. Yeah. And
So
so
do we
our
have
leaders,
Nancy?
It looks like it's Kimmy in first
Is
place.
it?
No.
Oh yeah, I don't know. We'll have to get up there.
No, it's Nancy.
Nancy Jaywalk.
Jaywalk.
Let's go take a look.
And if that really hurts Lindsay then, because Lindsay was
Yeah,
giving Nancy Jaywork a run for her money, and Nancy with a 1 in this place could really hold off Lindsay. Then
Right.
that could put her out of the game.
And there's Liza right there, right? Yeah. So she's having a
I
good
know.
race as well.
Lindsay's not going to be happy with herself
No.
when she comes in. With a mistake like that, you can't do that. The last up, the first upwind of the last race of the regatta, that's going to cost you.
And again, Marguerite going way inside.
Yeah, you can see that all the sailors are going up, and Marguerite's just going straight down the course. She might be able to make up some ground here. You see 4-3, 4-3-3. That's Liza really making sure that Nancy stays
covered.
high. If Nancy tries to go back low, she's getting covered, and if she stays high, then she's sailing a lot longer of a distance than Marguerite, who's staying inside. Looks like has a lot of air behind her, some space behind her to get some clear air, while all the other sailors stay high in the course. You can see Lindsay not doing too badly, considering what her issues were, but she should be up there, or she would be up there with Marguerite if she decided to duck Marguerite or tack over under Marguerite instead.
Looks like she lost 4 boats. Looks like she lost 4 boats there.
That's a big swing when you're fighting with that person that's currently in first place.
Nancy and Liza working the waves, making sure they don't bury the bow.
And it looks like with the throwout, Gail Hauser has moved into the lead with a net of 17 points. That's 6 points ahead of Marguerite. So Marguerite really needs to make some moves and hope that Gail does not have a good race. And Lindsay moved into third with that throwout as well. She's 7 points ahead of Nancy Jaywork, and so that means she just has to finish within 7 points of Nancy Jaywork in order to get third place. So if Lindsay can recover from that foul and finish, in the top 7, then she's guaranteed third place.
That's Gail right there, isn't it?
608, and that's 608.58. That's Gail Hauser. What place is she in?
I think third.
It looks like she's in third place, so she should be able to hold off, and if she can hold off and hold her place, then she can get 1 in the regatta. She'll win the regatta.
That's 71 season screen.
And there's Marguerite on the upper left-hand side of your screen.
And it's going to take a lot for Marguerite to now
Yeah,
win
I'm not
this
sure.
regatta. I think
Well,
uh, Marguerite needs Gail to have a really, really something happen to her to be
and
able
th-
to move up.
and
And
that's unlikely.
it is as much as it is unlikely. We've seen crazier
Yeah,
things,
true.
but it's going to take a lot because Gail just needs currently 6 points ahead of Marguerite after the throw out, the second throw out. Um, that's a big change.
Look how
She
still
needs,
she is in that boat, except for the working the waves. Just using the boat to work the waves. It's not the body.
yeah. And you can see those big waves and Liza trying to get on the waves, but they're big out there. They would be fun to surf. I want
That
to
would have
go
been a
out
fun.
there.
That would
Yeah.
have been a fun day.
And that's Nancy J where it
Nancy.
jibes back. So they're going for that leeward mark. She's going to that right mark, and it looks like Liza and Gail are going to go for that other mark. Once again, we're seeing the leaders split. Liza might be thinking to herself, "This is the last race. I'm in second place. Let me go for the gold.
Yeah.
Might as well go for it. At least
Keep
this way she'll cover Gail.
can keep
So
Gail in her pocket, and she'll
yeah,
be all set.
so she's get if she
Oh,
keeps
Gail's
Gail, then
tacking
she can get
already.
second place, and then she still has a shot at first place by going the opposite way as a
Yeah.
leader. Smart decision.
Yeah.
So we have Marguerite right now off on the right. Marguerite and Nancy Jaywork off on the right. And then we have Liza and
Liza,
Gail off on
Gail,
the left. And it looks like Gail has
Gail's
indeed tacked back because
tack back.
Liza was on top of her. So it looks like Liza's alone going on the
And
left
she and
side.
and Gail got across all those boats. I thought she might
Yeah.
have to do some dodging there, but she did all right.
And you can see how Lindsay, that mistake cost her. Look at all these boats that are passing her on that left side. And now Lindsay's going to have to go to that right. And
Yeah.
she's not inside either. That looks like it's JR inside. So Lindsay's going to have to let JR round the mark. And then she's going to have to try sneak in behind her and find some clear air. It's
It,
going to be a little bit of a challenge.
and it looks like
And
Liza made it through too, up on the upper side without any conflict. So she's
and it
past the
looks like
three.
Lindsay is round. Yeah. I don't know. So we'll see. Yeah, it looks like Lindsay had a decent rounding, was able to get up inside of JR, and so she's going to have a little bit of clear air over there. But and there's Bernadette rounding the mark in that dark yellow and blue sail. And that's 78275. That's Shannon Nardi again. Having a very good day for herself. You see 4350, that's Melissa Solnick.
That was a bad one.
Yeah, you can see a little trouble with hers. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
I have nightmares about 5350, 4350. That sail is, it haunts me. That's Simon's sail. And
Oh.
I hate seeing that one on the course with me because then I'm always like, it's ahead of me and right there and I can't catch it. So I'm sailing a good boat today.
Yeah.
I meant to say that live, but I didn't.
No, not go. Let's not go back.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's like PTSD from that sail. There are a lot of people watching this last race.
Yeah.
We got 20 watching right now.
Like you said in the commentary, confusing. Okay.
I said maybe I said a few of the competitors are confused and don't realize. And once again, we're going up to the second upwind leg, and they only have to round the upwind mark. They don't have to round the offset going into the second upwind.
Right.
And like we said before, a lot of the competitors haven't realized that about the courses.
Right. We'll see how that goes here.
Yeah, you could really save a little lot. Yes, some of the leaders realize it, but you could save a lot by skipping that offset mark. So this is 6:08.58. That's Gail Hausler. She managed to stay ahead of Marguerite. She's sitting right on top of Marguerite. Knows that Marguerite is her top competition right now. Maybe doesn't know exactly what the points are. Doesn't realize
right.
She's comfortably ahead, but she wants to stay right with Marguerite. You see
Marguerite Let's see if Gail taps back faster.
Yeah, there you go. So you see, Gail wants to stay with Marguerite, make sure she doesn't lose sight of her.
Covering her.
And like I said, maybe she doesn't realize that she's comfortably ahead right now. Marguerite doesn't really need to beat Marguerite this race, but she wants to
be here anyway.
She needs to make sure that she, as a competitor on the water, she has to make sure that she's going to get the win, not get the win. You see, that's Kimmy, or that's Nancy Taylor. Nancy Taylor went right off of that loop guard, and she seems to have worked for her. She's way out in front still. That's probably live off on the upper left corner, coming back. And we'll see what
It'll be interesting crossing right here. Yeah.
Yeah, if Bill was able to catch Liza, that'll be interesting. Maybe the right time to get off for her. It looks like Liza making a decision back in front of Gail, staying on that side with Gail, instead of trying to cross and potentially be on board boat and having to tack late and getting spotted by Gail. You see these boats going left. They're going to have to tack back again. They're going to have to ride back on port again to get up to that starboard lay line. So it does look like they're getting a little bit of a lift.
And she got a break though. Liza got a break there with Gail tacking off. Ooh.
And you can see 3 boats now on port going back toward the starboard lay line and trying to catch up to Nancy Jayward. Nancy comfortably ahead now. It's a little bit lighter breeze now than it was before. Nancy's able to handle that boat a little better. She's very good sail. She knows what she's doing in that light breeze and is very comfortable up until it hits like 15 miles an hour. And that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, that's what we saw all day with her.
But earlier in the day, it was a little bit more breeze than that. She had a little bit of trouble hanging with these top boats. But like we said yesterday, she was in second place and it wasn't heavy. And today, in the morning, it was heavy and she just had trouble with that heavy breeze. This is Nancy, the current race leader in the red and white sail right there, followed by a group of 3. There's Marguerite Kohler, Gail Hausler, and Liza Davies.
Yeah.
Some 4 of our top 5 sailors for this regatta. It'll be interesting with Nancy Jayward finishing in first in this race, how that affects Lindsay.
It makes us think tough.
Yeah, I mean, Lindsay's only ahead. Lindsay's only ahead of Nancy by 7 points. So if Lindsay gets an 8,
and it looks like Gail caught Liza there, but not. We'll see.
Yeah, indeed. Gail caught Liza. We'll see. Gail's gonna head down. She's gonna skip that offset. Liza's gonna head down with her, and we're gonna try and make up some ground on Nancy Jayward. Gail would love nothing more than to put Liza between her and Marguerite, so she's definitely gonna try her best to pass Liza.
Yeah.
You can see Lindsay on the top left part of the screen. She's really got to get in there. She needs better than 8th to secure 3rd. If she gets 8th place, it's likely that she'll drop out of 3rd place. I think Nancy Jayward has a tiebreaker over Lindsay. So Lindsay only has This would be Nancy's first win, so Lindsay would have the tiebreaker over Nancy. So I think, yeah. So it looks like Lindsay needs to get better than ninth, 8 or better to secure third place. And with that costly penalty, the first race, it could be close. Hey, Brian. And that looks like it's Lindsay, and Lindsay's skipping the offset. The other group wants to go to the offset, so she's putting a little bit more space between her and that other group. And we'll see. Lindsay's in fifth place right now. She can secure third place. She's in there, and it looks like she is indeed in seventh place. So she just needs to hold serve, and if she holds serve here, finish in seventh place, she'll secure third for the she won't be happy with that last race, but she didn't have a shot at catching Marguerite, and and she was able to hold off Nancy. So we'll see. As long as she holds serve, that'll be good for them. And Lindsay, you could really see she saved a lot of distance by not going to the offset. Those other three boats went to the offset, and she was able to get clear air and speed away from them. These are our leaders here. You see Marguerite in fourth place, trying her best to catch up to Liza in third, and Gail Hausler in second. Nancy J. lost a comfortable lead going into the last leg of the regatta. This orange mark to her upper left, made a giant mark and parade home the finish. Nancy J. with her first win of the regatta. She's got to be happy with that strong finish after a great win.
That's a great win today. Giants are really it's good.
I mean, she said she's coming off a strong finish to the Masters, second place overall in the Masters. She said that was her proudest moment so far.
Great job.
It's recent memory. And it was a Nancy showdown.
Yeah.
She finished second to Nancy Haberlin, and she showed her skill here again. I mean, top four finish for her. I know she might be a little
Had a good year.
having such a good day yesterday, but she's been sailing really well.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she said her goal is to win it, so she's not going to meet that today. But I hope she had fun anyway. I think she sailed well.
She sailed well.
Nancy all by herself way out in front, coming in for the finish. She's getting close to the finish. Got to be relieved. The regatta's over.
Yeah.
She's probably tired, hungry, thirsty, working hard all morning. It's now close, just after 2 o'clock, and we're coming in for that last leg of the We got to say once again, we're not we're at Niantic Baseball Club, Niantic, Connecticut.
They've been great hosts. And they're all congratulating each other for sure.
On the left with the colored tail, and it looks like she's a little behind this other node.
That's great.
That's Gretchen. Gretchen Seymour. Good finish for her. Gretchen Seymour in 6th place, Lindsay in 7th place, so that'll do it. Lindsay secure 3rd place in the regatta. And that's 76039. That's Emily Wagner. Good finish for her. A great finish in 8th place for the last race of the day. That's her best finish in the regatta, 8th place. Here we have Faith Flynn, 9th, and 10th place is fourth. That's Kimmy Jackson. Kimmy Jackson, 10th place. Good finish for her to finish it up. 81406. That's Beth Owens from Sarasota. And 8102, that's Lynn Randall. Good finish for her too. That's gonna be feel good. And Sonia Dean in point. And that's JR being out 80858. That's Linda from Sarasota, and 455 Sarah Woodward. A good last race for all those sailors. A little bit of close finishes. Bernadette, 4411. Shannon North, organizer of the yacht club. She's still great today. 778. That's Mia from Sebago Club. Mia Brand, fantastic finish for her first women's Olympic. And then 88, that's Joan Butler. We just saw a couple more coming in. Joan Butler, a great finish for her. We didn't see that much of her on the course today, but she was doing solid finishes all regatta. Six. That's Suzanne Hugh coming in coming in, but a lot of sailors that did not sail today because of the heavy breeze this morning. So this sailor maybe he's a little bit behind the rest of the fleet right now, but they're certainly they're certainly candid for going out there and sailing and up for not strong. This looks like it's parish Schweinsteiger from sailing along. It was 333, good for her. She missed the first two races, was one guy down, she was back out there for another race, and managed to launch her boat and get out there and join the last couple of races. And you can see our fantastic tin boat all the way through, the help out on the race committee duties and review by the race committee boat, and then we'll get to the a fantastic job from Ken 12 races and listen, William and fantastic job. Everyone's had a good time race. And Tyre beat our own lost there and taken us back into shore. So thanks to that, thank you to Diane and Yakov for hosting us. Fantastic venue, fantastic race. So you see the fantastic venue, Niantic Yacht Club. Looking at shore, all the women putting away their boats, pulling up their boats on shore. Some of them had to launch this morning from inside the cove behind the breakwater, so you see them sailing in there. It's a little easier, fewer waves. You can see some of these boats, they're holding the boat in the water and bouncing up and down as the waves break on the shore. So a few of them sailed into the cove to get a softer, easier launch. And we'll be right back with some interviews.
big questions here.
And I'm here at 2019 Women's North Americans at Niantic Bay Yacht Club, and I'm with third place finisher Lindsay Stockwell. What were you thinking about coming into today's racing?
Well, I like big wind, and I was hoping that I could actually hold on and stay with the competition and maybe move forward a couple places.
You were at fifth place after yesterday, if I'm not wrong. And did you think you had a shot at catching up with these, better finishers yesterday?
I was hoping I did. I know that if I sailed my best race going into today, that I had a shot, but I had to bring my best performance. So.
And how did you feel about your performance today?
Happy with it. I did foul my green on the last race, so I knocked me back to seventh place, which was my worst finish of the day. But the worst I did was a seventh, and I'm pretty happy. I had a bullet, a couple seconds.
And can you tell us about what happened on that foul?
She was starboard. I thought she was letting me cross, and I was optimistic. Wasn't the case, so.
And it looked like you fell back from that. It looked like you were back in like 12th or 13th place after that foul. What did you do to fall back from that?
I just tried to play the shifts and sail a clean race. Took a couple risks. Didn't necessarily sail with the fleet, and paid off.
Yeah, I think we were looking at the results when we were sailing, and it looked like if you finished in ninth, you might have lost the third place spot to Nancy Jaywork. How do you feel about these other competitors and their finishes?
Everybody out there did a really fantastic job. I think everybody who even held on in this wind was phenomenal, but it was fun. Most of the races today, the top 5 finishers of each race were the top 5 competitors from yesterday. So definitely a lot of talent out there, and everyone did a good job.
Do you have anything to say to the yacht club and the hosts of the venue?
Yeah, thank you so much for having us here. We love the wind, we love the conditions. We got a little bit of something for everyone, and we had a really fun event.
Thank you for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you. No.
Yeah. Nice, Lindsay.
Got that on camera?
Mic on? Yeah, I know. Hi, and I'm here with Gail Hausler, our top finisher for this regatta. Congratulations, Gail.
Thanks,
what were
Bill.
you thinking? What were you thinking about coming into today's racing?
I was thinking that Marguerite and Nancy were really, really good sailors and would be hard to beat. I was happy that it was blowing. That makes it a little easier. I usually do better in a blow than I do in light air. But I knew if I was going to be able to win, I had to look at the point spreads after each race.
So were you able to keep track of all the different variables that went into the point spreads over the 6 races today?
I lost track of Nancy the first race, but after that I was in tune with what was going on. So yeah.
So there was one point during the last race where we saw Marguerite next to you, and Marguerite tacked off, and then we saw you tack back on top of Marguerite. Were you following Marguerite, knowing that she was a second place finisher and she was close to you in the standings?
Absolutely. I tried to put a loose cover, but I don't point as well as Marguerite does, so I had to try to keep a loose cover as best I could, at least be going on the same tack that she was going.
So it looked like the wind died down a little bit toward the end of the day. Is that what you guys were seeing out there? And how did that affect your sailing at the end of the day?
Yeah, I do think the wind died down for a couple of the races, but I think the last race it had picked back up quite a bit. I just hope that it didn't die down anymore because I had a small reef, and a big gins in my sail. So if it died anymore, it was going to be a little tough.
Lindsay was telling me before the racing that you never have used a reef like that before. What went into that thought process, putting that in, and it seemed to work for you today?
It did work. I had never used one before, but when walking around before the races and looking at everybody else's boats, it looked like it was pretty simple to do. And I watched you put one in for your mom. So I thought, well, let me try it. We have some extra time, and I'll just put a small one in. So I think I was glad that I did that.
Yeah. You think if you didn't have that reef, it would have been a little much?
It would have been harder. So I don't know. I have to compare.
Well, congratulations. Thank you for your time. And do you have anything else to say for the club or anything?
No, I think that the club and all of the Yukon sailors did a fabulous job putting the regatta on. We weren't expecting it to be quite this cold, but coming from Florida where it's still 90 degrees, I was actually delighted to have some cool breeze and cool air. But I think the club did a fabulous job. The race committee did a really nice job with the races. I had no idea they would keep us out there for that many races today, but was ecstatic that they did. So I think everything went as well as it could possibly go.
Well, it was fantastic racing. Congratulations. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It was good. You guys were great. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And that was Gail Hausler, top finisher of this regatta. Congratulations, Gail. I don't know. And once again, we're here at 2019 Sunfish Women's North Americans, and I'm here with the rest of the broadcast team, closing out the broadcast. Great regatta, great venue, great people. I'm here. I'm Will Kresick, USCA president, and Yukon Sailing alum.
And I'm Peter Giuliano. I'm here with Lift and Sea, and I just want to say we had a lot of fun filming these women racing. It was fantastic. The competition was terrific. Everybody was extremely friendly and excited for the event, and it was a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it was the venue. We couldn't ask for a better place to film out of. It made our operation really easy. Everyone was so accommodating. It was a lot of fun to be here. The competition was great. The last day, everyone was battling out for that top position. It was awesome to watch, and we hope that we put on a nice show for you guys at home, and and my name is Brian Praycon from Lift and Sea, former UConn alum. So thanks again.
All right,
Thank you
guys.
all. Thank you all, and we hope to see you again on future broadcasts.